So let's talk about smoke. So
Absolutely.
smoke was a tough one, and as I've mentioned to some folks, it was hard to pick which stories to do songs on because somebody's dying in almost every story. And in this particular one, it's a rather violent death, and it starts with the past with our character Vernon Hamby, who is 15 at the time in this particular story, and his father. And you want to kind of open this one up and talk about a little bit about what happens, and
Sure. So
we'll get into why it's called smoke.
Vernon is a 15-year-old, and he's woken up by his father, who's had a confrontation with another man out on a country road out by the oil fields where he works, and he's unfortunately murdered a man, and they need to get rid of the evidence. Though the story in my own mind, it becomes a ritual of not just hiding evidence like some criminal trying to get rid of something, but they go out to this old cave out in the woods, and they create a fire, and so the whole idea of the smoke. I thought a lot about the things that I've seen and been in close proximity in my life, and even this story is based on a story my grandfather told me. And what I understand about living in a world of violence and the things that I've seen. At the end of the story, Vernon is looking up at the smoke, kind of wisping up into the sky, and he's thinking about all of the fires the world's ever seen. We live in this closed atmosphere.
Yeah.
So all the fires from wars and all the fires from bombs, where does all that smoke go? And what the truth of the world is, literally, metaphorically, is that all that smoke just becomes the air we breathe. And moreover, I feel that's kind of a truth of what it is to live in close proximity to violence as I've seen in my life. So that's kind of the insight that I was trying to draw out of this story my grandfather told me when I was a little boy.
Yeah. Well, let me see if I can conjure this one up here.
Sure.
This life, its course has run, the path it leads me down is done. It's not by choice or aim, but by a bolt of fate. I no more the same. Upon me and you, but if we burn the sin away, all that smoke will finally clear one day.
It's beautiful.
Thanks, man. So
the smoke clearing one day, man. That's the great hope of the book. Every story I wrote, it's it's about people who are in bad places, but I love that line. That's what we all want: the smoke to clear someday. Right?
Yeah, and the volt. So I think that line was, it wasn't by choice or aim, but by a volt of fate. I'm no more the same.
That's right.
So tell me a little bit about what volt means to you real quick.
Well, there's the title story Volt. There's a mother who's talking about she has two sons and they've kind of gone on divergent paths, one for good, one for not so good. And she says, one time we're all just babes, just little innocent babies. Then eventually something comes into our lives, a volt comes into our lives, and it changes us for good or for bad, and that's kind of the path we're set on. And
Yeah.
that's my understanding of the world. If you had asked me when I was a younger man to say who I thought the good people were and the bad people were I went to school with, I would have got many of them wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's only because the volts had not appeared yet in their lives. And just one thing I want people to take away from the book, and one thing the songs are speaking to, is I don't think that this stuff is separate from us. Bad things happen to everybody, and it can happen to anybody, and this is a part of the human experience. And so I think as much as anything, that's kind of trying to build an empathetic capacity for these characters so people can kind of think about the things they've been in close proximity to and have seen and heard about in their own lives.
Yeah. Well, it's like going to church, right? And speaking of that, Vernon grows up to be a pastor, right?
He does.
And what I took away from all of this is a strong sense of forgiveness and redemption, and to me, that's really that was one of the hinge points of the whole book, was that you always have a chance for redemption, and
they're fighting it out, aren't they?
Yeah.
All the characters are fighting it out. I think that's. I just recently gave an interview where I said, every character in my book, they want to be healed. They're looking for that, and even for people who come from a place of stability, who come from a place of faith or reverence, whatever you want to call it. There's struggle sometimes. Things happen. That's the story. Lazarus is kind of a perfect example of. I created a character who's now come down from this horrible thing that's happened when he was 15 and has found his way into a life of being a pastor and being a husband and being a father. And his son goes off to be a soldier and fight in the war for all the good reasons, and is tragically killed. And that's kind of what I've seen. People I've had in my life and have been in close proximity to, that bad thing that comes into your life, the loss of a loved one. In this case, it can happen to anybody. So it's now Pastor Vernon Hamby, a man of stability and faith and reverence, trying to make sense of how he can go on and live his life again. In his grief.
From his legacy he shall be freed. Oh, 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 it's hard to see you cry, your story told. choice or aim, but by a vault of fate, I'm no more the same.